Hello, my name's Alyssa McKinney, and I am the president of Above and Beyond Cancer. Welcome to the Cancer Education Series tonight. You'll notice it's not Dr. Deming. He is getting a much-deserved little vacation, and I'm really thrilled to sit in for him. We're going to talk about a couple things before we meet our guests tonight. We often don't share a lot about all the activities going on with Above and Beyond Cancer. And one thing I want to highlight is we just did our annual jump a few weeks ago. We had 18 brave jumpers that took the leap for Above and Beyond Cancer. It was a beautiful day. We got so lucky with the weather down in Knoxville, where the Des Moines Skydiving Club is, and they're an amazing partner of ours. But we have raised over $100,000 with those individuals jumping and really helping us elevate Above and Beyond Cancer. We were lucky to have the mayor of Des Moines, Connie Boesen, jumped for us, and also State Senator Mike Busolo jumped. And of course, lots of other amazing individuals jumped. And we had 6 survivors that jumped this year too. So we were just really thrilled with the day. And every year, I'm always thankful when we're all safely back on the ground. So it is always a relief when we're driving home. But it was a great day. And I also just want to highlight one of our events coming up, which is Celebrate, and that is our annual event. And Celebrate is we're celebrating our 15th anniversary this year of Above and Beyond Cancer. And so that is November 12th. And we would love for you to join us. So just go online and look at the information about Celebrate, and you can join us. And I'm also happy to say my guest is here.
Hello. I'm so sorry.
You're totally fine. You know, after I thought about it, I'm like, I'm not sure I told him that it was live. So that's my fault.
No, all good. I think I experienced rush hour traffic for the first time.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, wow, this is a thing.
Because Todd lives downtown,
Yeah,
and you work
yeah,
downtown.
yeah.
So you don't have to drive out west.
No, I was like, holy moly guacamole.
And keep in mind, Todd came from us from Chicago. So
Yes, I should have
he
given
is
myself an
used-
hour and a half.
Right.
Yeah.
You are used to traffic. Well, I am thrilled to introduce Todd Rhodes. He's the Director of Development for the ballet.
Yes.
And you have another title too, don't you?
I'm director of adaptive dance there as well.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And so we're just thrilled. We at Above and Beyond Cancer and Ballet Des Moines have started this partnership, and Todd has been a big part of getting that going. And so I thought he'd be a fun guest for us tonight. Plus, he has great energy. But as Dr. Deming would do if he was here, I'm going to ask you, tell us a little bit about
Yeah.
yourself and where you grew up.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Akron, Ohio, so a Midwest boy. Ohio and Iowa, it's really easy to get those, like, the vowels.
A lot of vowels.
Yeah. And so I grew up in Northeast Ohio, Cleveland, Akron area. And then once I graduated from high school, I went off to basically the East Coast. I went to New York and DC and Boston to train and dance. And I got my undergrad. I was trying to do a triple major, double concentration.
Sure.
Dance, psychology, development, and education as well. So I was just like a lot of different things. So I graduated with my my dance degree, and then I later went back to get my MFA from Iowa in dance.
Oh,
So
I
so that
didn't
kind of pulled me into
realize
Iowa.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's kind of like where I grew up and how I got started. My parents were really religious, and so this idea of spirituality was always kind of part of my life. This idea of energy or connective of everyone. This idea of the Beatitudes being good, serving other people. That kind of mindset really stuck with me. So no matter what I've done in my life, I've always volunteered or had a side gig that was kind of like of service or nonprofit work and development and sharing information. So I'm really happy to be here. So,
Well, I love that. Okay. Dr. Deming would also ask,
Yeah.
what was your school mascot?
Okay, so high school, it was the Garfield Rams. I went to private schools in undergrad. I don't remember. Sports was not a thing.
Right, my girls
So
did the
I have,
same thing.
like-
Right,
I'm
yeah.
like, I think at Point Park University, where I went to one school for a year. No idea what their mascot was. It was Shenandoah University, and then I went to Point Park University in Pittsburgh, and I think they were the Pioneers.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
My daughter went to one of the girls went to the University of Denver.
Okay.
And they were the Pioneers.
Oh, were they? Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
but
Yeah.
And the other question is, which I always think is kind of fun, what were you known for in high school? Was there something that you stood out?
I was voted as the friendliest.
The friendliest. I
Yeah,
love
so
that.
yeah, I was like, that's kind of, I feel like that was like the best thing, right?
That is
So,
fantastic.
yeah,
That
so-
totally makes sense.
Yeah, like I try to say hi to people and make people feel welcome, and yeah, so yeah.
And do you notice that difference in Iowa compared to Chicago? Or maybe not so much Chicago, but the East Coast for sure, how people greet each other on the street.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, when I lived in Boston, and it took me a long time to connect with one person, and once I connected that person, then they introduced me to their friends, but it was like took me so much effort. And then here in like Chicago, like the Midwest mentality, right? You meet people and they're pretty genuine. Like, and I feel like in Des Moines even more so. People are very genuine. People are very friendly and very warm, and it's I've fallen in love since I've been here.
Yeah, I know
So,
you have.
yeah.
And I think I met you like your first few
Yeah,
weeks
yeah.
at the
So-
Community Foundation
luncheon,
luncheon.
yep.
Yeah. And so that was fun to get to meet you as you
Yeah.
were just starting out. Well, let's talk a little bit about one thing that I loved. You labeled our conversation tonight, Any Movement Matters.
Yeah.
What's that mean to you?
Yeah, it means so much. I feel that movement could be physical, could be emotional, could be spiritual, could be mental. So this idea of like just shifting perspective sometimes, shifting your perspective changes your world, right? And so just that movement of our thinking, the movement of rearranging your space, in your living space or your workspace changes kind of like feng shui. And then this idea of movement, any movement matters. I was, shortly after I moved to Chicago, I was, 2 cars played chicken through a red light. I don't know if I told you the story.
You did
Yeah,
share
and
that
so,
with me.
and I was actually on my way, this is like a Lifetime story, movie story. I was on my way to a dance audition at the Lyric Opera Chicago. And no, actually, I wasn't. That was the weekend before. I was on my way to a performance at Dance In.
Oh.
And so 2 cars played chicken through a red light. One car was turning left and was going through the red light, and the other car didn't stop. And so they hit each other. They lost control. The one car went up on the sidewalk, ran me over. I flew through the air about 15, 20 feet.
Because you were walking.
I was walking.
Yeah,
yes.
you weren't
That's-
driving.
Yeah, I
Right.
was not driving. So I was walking. And I woke up, and the car had gone through a cement pillar. And I think both drivers were fine. I don't know. But I had head injuries. I had knee injuries. I didn't break any bones, surprisingly enough, but I tore a lot of ligaments, cartilage, tendons. And I had to move back in with my parents. I had to learn how to walk. And so it was a lot of being from this really, really high caliber movement and dance to how do you start over again? And I'm like young, and I'm like in like my prime of my life. And it was kind of like the battle, not the war. And this idea of like, okay, if I wake up and I'm able to like have control over my ankles, great. If I'm able to like breathe deeply, because it hurts so bad to breathe, if I'm able to breathe deeply, that's something. So anything is going to be better than nothing. And any kind of inch that you get, that adds up over time. Like I love the idea of like 10% happier, but I was reading something about 1% better every day. And I was like, that's achievable, like 1%. And that could be anything, right? And those 1% add up, 30 days, that's 30%,
Right, right.
And so that's like manageable. So like any movement matters, really, I think we all have control over that. again, whether it's actual movement of our body, breathing, mental meditation, changing something in our life. Yeah.
So how long did it take you to heal?
Crazy enough, it was only 6 months. Like I had the week before I had gone to an audition, I had gotten that contract. And so I had this really, really focus.
Oh,
of
so
like,
you were still able to do
Yeah.
the lyric. Oh,
so I was
lovely.
just like, if I get myself back, I could do that. So I would spend, 50, 60, 70 hours a week just on physical therapy. And the company had heard that I was in a car accident. So someone had called me and said, I heard that you were in an accident. Do you need to get out of your contract? And I was living with my parents at the time, and I had these knee immobilizers and all these things on me. And I said, oh, a car just hit me. I think I sprained my knee. It's okay. And I was like, you know what? If I have this, though, this focus, I could do it. If I don't have anything to focus on,
take longer.
I'm going to be like floundering. And I later on had to have knee surgery after that because things were healing well. And so, but that took another couple months. But yeah, like having some sort of focus or hope, I think always helps someone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed. And what opera did you perform in?
Yeah, it was the Lyric Opera Chicago. It was
Yes.
called Midsummer's Marriage. It's an opera. It's a contemporary opera written by an English composer from I think it was 1956. Was not well received.
Oh,
The choreographer was amazing. He's Wayne McGregor from Random Dance from London, and but yeah, it's one of those like kind of weird kind of operas that just people were expecting something different. Yeah.
That's the great thing about
Yeah,
opera, right?
you never know, right?
You never
Right,
know.
same thing,
Right,
yeah.
right, absolutely.
So, yeah.
Okay, so tell us more about your career, because you have done lots of different things,
Yeah.
from professional to your classes that you do, your community you've connected with, even online, and how you help people all over the country. Just kind of walk us through your journey.
Yeah. I'm a chronic asthmatic, and so when I was learning dance I started dance late. I started dance in high school, and I would always have asthma attacks, and I learned some breathing tricks just to like kind of get me through. And my mom also would like hit the back of my chest or the back of my ribs to kind of help break up mucus sometimes. And I was on a lot of maintenance medication. And so when I was in college, I discovered that breath work really changed, and being like aerobic and anaerobic exercise really helped that, and eating well. And so I was always kind of like on this health journey to make myself feel better, and try to get off some medication. And so as I'm doing dance training, I'm also discovering different modalities of movement that help in wellness. It's not just enough to like stay in shape, but it's like you could really heal yourself through movement. And that was always a big thing. Then I got a job. I lived in New York for a short while. Then I got a job in Austin as a dancer, professional dancer for Ballet Austin. And I also taught yoga and Pilates. And I started working for people in rehab post and pre-surgery. And I saw a lot of different kinds of people. I saw people who had fused joints. Some people were towards the end of their life, and they just wanted some sort of someone to be there to breathe with them and help meditate. And so I got to experience all this, from like Ironman to the extreme. And I just found so much joy in that. At the same time, I volunteered with Ballet Austin and created like affinity groups with the LGBTQ, with we didn't really say BIPOC at that time, but people of color, and to try to make sure that ballet was accessible and to make sure people felt welcome. And so I was really happy in all these different areas that I was doing. I was like, sharing the gift of dance. I was sharing the gift of movement, and I was also able to dance myself. And I felt like dancing was such a selfish thing. I was like, this feels so good. And so what can I give to other people? And then so when I moved to Chicago, I basically kind of picked that up and went kind of like hog wild with it. Like I worked with it's Swedish Covenant Hospital in Chicago. They have a wellness center called Galter Life Center. And I ran their yoga Tai Chi program. And because of that, and because they were affiliated with the hospital, I got to work with the cardiac rehab, their oncology department, their regular PT. And so how does meditation, how does simple movement help people through, as they go through chemo, at wherever they are in their process, what kind of movement, what kind of Pilates or dance or yoga helps them. And so this idea that anyone could dance, anyone could do yoga. I had one guru, one teacher that said, if you can't do yoga, do yoga. And we were all like, what does that mean? And he was just like, yoga, we just think of these crazy power yoga postures, but it's about meditation and breath work. And he was just like, you could still do what you want. You might not do everything, but you could still get so much out of it. And so that hit me hard. And so then when I went through my own physical issues and journey, I just thought it was even more important that we don't put an age on people either. I think a lot of people see like a number and they're just like, you shouldn't do that or you can't do that. I'm like, if it's not hurting you, why not? Why not enjoy life even more, you know? And so when I retired from dance, I decided to go back to school, and I got my master's at University of Iowa. And I had been teaching in the adjunct position at a couple different universities. And so I was like, let's go the academic route. And so I taught at a few universities after I graduated. And I was just like, I want to be more in the professional world and also in the nonprofit world. And so I knew about Ballet Des Moines from school, and I also knew the last artistic director, Tom. He and I danced together at the opera.
Oh, okay.
And then so, and I knew a couple of the guest choreographers, and so I was like, I was hearing all this stuff. And it all comes back to Des Moines. And I was also a choreographer for Des Moines Metro Opera for a number of years. So I'd come to Des Moines starting in 2017 every 2 years, and I saw how the city was expanding and being built, and I was just overwhelmed every time I came back. And I was just like, something's really great is happening here. And so I talked to Blair, and I was just like, how could I?
And she's amazing.
She's incredible. Yeah,
Blair,
she's
the executive director of Ballet Des Moines,
she's
is phenomenal.
Built this incredible team, incredible
she has
company.
Such vision.
And I was just like, how could I be part of this? How could we collaborate? I would love to help. And I want to be in a community that my work and my passion matters. And I also want to be in a community that people care and they collaborate. And that's totally what Des Moines is about. And I get really emotional because I'm like, this is the good sauce, you know? So it's really good.
It is. And you've been here 2 years now?
No,
year and a half.
Maybe I moved here
Like in
a year ago,
Oh,
July
yeah.
4th.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
but I met you before
Yeah,
that,
I was
so you
commuting
hadn't
back.
moved.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So you met me when I was back and forth from
Got it.
Chicago.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
okay,
true.
yeah.
But yeah, it's just like, it feels like, sometimes I feel like, wow, I'm brand new. What is happening? And other times I'm like, yeah, I've been here for like 5 years, 10 years. So
Well, and you've come at such an amazing time with Ballet Des Moines
Yeah.
and the new space that was
Yeah,
built.
yeah.
I was lucky enough to help just a very little bit on that capital campaign. And just what Ballet Des Moines has grown into. And do you want to share a few highlights? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
Cinderella this year,
Yeah.
and all the performances are. I always think people think ballet and they think either the Nutcracker or Swan Lake.
exactly, yeah.
And
Yeah.
but it is so much more, and the performances are just beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. I have to give a huge shout out to like the whole team. Jamie Milne, who's our creative director, and she just all the the websites and the promotional material, like
Beautiful.
even her photos, just exquisite.
Beautiful, yes.
And we got a new artistic director this last year. He started with me. His name's Eric Trope, and he just has an incredible vision, and his choreography is stunning. He uses classical ballet, but in a very contemporary context. So you kind of don't know what to expect a lot of times. It's a lot of it tends to be like fun or playful and athletic, and we have a lot of guest choreographers come in, and it's very rare for a ballet company to do as many, or even any dance company to do as many new works every year, let alone someone the size of Ballet Des Moines. That's unheard of. And we usually always do new works.
Yeah.
If they are a restaged work, it's very, very rare. If it happened once, I think. So we do classical ballet. We also do contemporary ballet. This last year, like you said, we did Cinderella with the full Des Moines Symphony, 76 musicians at the
Yes,
Civic Center.
yes.
We had the full company. We have, this year, I believe we're having 16 maybe, 15, 16 company dancers, and then 12 to 14 trainees, which is kind of like our second company. We have this year, the second year of our artist in residence. So we pick a mid-tiered artist from central Iowa, and we work with them, and they receive a stipend, they receive money to create either a set design, costume design, lighting design, projection design that they work with the artistic director for our winter show. Last year we started something called Ballet Without Barriers, and so we have a podcast, we have accessibility committee, we have sensory friendly performances, we have sensory educational programming, we have adaptive dance classes. We have all of our performances that we have. They're all audio described, working with Iris, and also written out. And so, like we're trying to think about how to make things accessible for everyone. And then in doing so, we also created a community ticketing program. So anyone in Iowa, or anyone who has an Iowa library card, age 7+, could have a free ticket. And
I didn't know that.
and so we received some responses from people that saw Cinderella that said, I was able to take my family of 6 to see Cinderella, and we would have never been able to do that. And so it's like this idea of intergenerational experiences and memories that they're creating, and just we also do free summer tours through the summer.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you. You
yeah.
guys tour all over the state.
Yeah. So and we actually performed in Omaha this year too. So
Oh.
we reached out of the state.
Outside
yeah.
of the state.
We're going wild. So yeah, it's just there's so many. We just keep growing and doing more, and that's what it's about. It's about creating a really amazing cultural gem, but then serving the broader community for everybody. Yeah.
Well, I love it. And I do encourage people to check out, when's the first ballet this season?
So the first ballet, we're actually doing a free kind of kickoff event on Sunday, August 30th at
Yes.
Waterworks.
I have
Lawrence
that on my
Amphitheater,
calendar.
yeah.
Yes.
So we wanted to kind of show a sneak peek of what we have going on for the whole season. We also wanted to invite our collaborators and partners for the year. So we'll be there. We're showing different pieces. The Bellin Quartet will be there. I think Des Moines Symphony and some artists from Noche will be there. We might have some other speakers but I'm not sure who's confirmed right now. But yeah, it's going to be Sunday, August 30th. And then our first performance will be at Hoyt's the third weekend of October.
Okay.
Called Ghost Stories.
I know. I don't like ghosts make me cry. I just start crying.
Oh, it's gonna be good.
Okay, I won't cry.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well, maybe.
Maybe.
I can't promise.
And then, of course, the Nutcracker.
Yeah, Nutcracker. And then we have what we call new voices in our winter show, and that's a really incredibly curated piece as well. And what we're really trying to show is throughout the season, and we end with American Songbook.
Oh, okay.
And then that's going to be at the Civic Center
Again, okay.
again. And so what we're trying to showcase is the breadth of what dance and ballet is, but also the breadth of what our dancers could do. And they're so versatile. And so we're going to be doing some balancing, we're going to do an excerpt of Giselle romantic ballet from the 1830 or 1850s, and we're going to be doing some contemporary stuff, some new works, some world premieres, and then American Songbook we end in the spring, and it's basically celebrating American jazz and Americana music from the 1940s to 60s, and we have a live jazz band, Max Chernin, who is a Broadway star in New York. He was the lead in Parade, the tour that came through. So he and his band are going to come in and play live, and so a lot of exciting stuff. Yeah.
And it is really fun to see the ballet with live music,
Yeah.
right? It's just like a whole different feel.
Yeah, and it's fun as a dancer. Whenever you have live music, it's this partnership. It's this duet that you have with the music too.
Because you feel it, right?
You feel it, and it might be slightly different. If it's canned, like recorded music, you basically memorize how everything feels, and it's kind of like it's easy to check out. But if it's live, ooh, if someone's going to hold a note just a little bit long, or if the conductor had a little bit more coffee, watch out.
You're going really
Yes, yeah. So it's always great, and the audience could feel the vibration of the instruments too when you're in the house.
Yeah, it does. It's really special.
Yeah.
Okay, so we started connecting, and Mary Van Hoekelum, our program director, started talking about like how could we use some of your amazing talents, and how could that benefit our cancer survivors and our caregivers. And so tell us a little bit about kind of some of the things we've been doing together, the classes you do now here in Des Moines, and how we've kind of meshed.
Yeah, I love that. So I started just teaching more movement holistically when I was in Chicago, when I was in Austin, and I would just like kind of collect certifications. I collect training programs and like all these different things. You just keep learning and learning and learning. And you get kind of exposed to more people who want to move, right? Like they're like, yeah, I used to move, but I feel like I can't anymore, or I'm limited. And so I always felt like everyone could do something, like any movement matter, yeah?
Right.
And so, during the pandemic, I did everything virtually. And I taught about 24 classes a week virtually.
That's a lot of classes.
And yeah, it was intense. And you know, sometimes I'd have classes of like 30 people on Zoom. Sometimes there'd only be like 8. And it was really about making sure that like you're moving, and that the community, like creating community, is very important, as well as movement. And so I saw, like when I was at Galter, I saw how movement could help people who are being treated for cancer or in remission. I saw how it could help people after heart surgery or heart disease, and so then I had some clients who were living with Parkinson's, and I saw, okay, this is neurological degenerative disease that isn't like the others, and so I just saw like so many more opportunities, and depending on people's treatment for cancer too, you have a lot of different side effects.
Right.
And I was like seeing, oh, this that I'm learning in Dance for Parkinson's, this could be applicable to all these other things, and vice versa. And so when we were talking at Ballet Des Moines about Ballet Without Barriers and adaptive dance, I was like, oh, I've experience in this. Let's go ahead and do this. And then I forgot who, maybe Blair said, reach out to Alyssa. She's great. Yeah. And I was like,
That's
yeah,
very
she
nice
is.
of
Yeah.
Blair.
And so I was just like, oh, this is something I'm familiar with, we could do. And I know that there was a class or program last year that y'all did with Ballet Des Moines. And
Oh, yes, right.
yeah, and so I was like, okay, so the class that I created is based off of Dance with Parkinson's, but then like some other things added in. And of course, depending on who's in the class, you tweak, you change, you modify, but like you're always pivoting, pivot step, pivot step.
Yep.
And so when I have been going to Above and Beyond Cancer to teach for you all, I've been basically doing that dance class that's called Everybody Dance for the class, and kind of gauging out people's level too and see what they're interested in. And the biggest thing is about breath, about moving what you can move, doing what you can do, having fun, trying to visualize, making noise, sound, whatever that is. If you're laughing, if you're just going, ah, like whatever it is. And then really feeling the dexterity, the fingers, the toes, the parts of ourselves that we take for granted, right? We think about shoulders, we think about knees, but we don't think about the smaller movements. And so we do small movement and also really big movement. And so, so that's what I'm trying to give away is that.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, and I know we're just excited. I know Carol loves it when you
Oh,
come
it's-
to
yeah.
the class.
I got to teach on Monday, and I'm teaching tomorrow as well.
Oh, good.
And so yeah,
Oh, good.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so goofy.
Yeah. Well, and another thing that you did was we had our very first ever
Oh, yeah.
Beyond the Summit Cancer Survivor
Yes,
and
yeah.
Caregiver Conference back in June, and I'm happy to say it's scheduled again for next year.
Amazing.
Although we have to move locations because too
oh,
many people,
it's
too
incredible.
many people want to come.
Kudos.
So we're going to move out actually to Ankeny at the FFA Enrichment Center, but it just gives us over 300 people can attend, just a lot more
Amazing,
space. And so we're excited, and I believe the date is June 16th off the top of my head, 2027, but we're super excited. So one of the things that we wanted our conference to be that was different than every other conference you go to is like you sit there, you listen to somebody, I at times want to doze off because it's, you
Yep.
get sleepy.
Yep.
But we wanted to make it Above and Beyond Cancer like. So
Yep.
we needed to include movement or music or both, or,
Yeah.
meditation.
Yeah.
And so we started each of the 4 sessions with some sort of what I call, being like above and beyond cancer,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we started out with music, we did yoga, we did your movement, and then we did meditation. And I think it did kind of set it apart from other types of conferences, which is what we wanted. So yours was a big hit.
Oh, good.
You got a lot of positive remarks.
Great. Yeah.
Because
I
you
had a
came
blast.
you
Yeah.
came in strong.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you share like one movement like we could do here
Yeah.
right now?
So what I love is like taking things that you do naturally. Like when you wake up in the morning, you yawn and you stretch. And so like anything that you do, just expand it. Like we breathe, but what happens if we breathe? Right? And so
Right.
if we take that and we move our arms, that's my favorite. Just a big old stretch.
Stretch.
And stretching through the fingertips because we forget about doing that
Yeah,
so
like
much.
open ourselves
Yeah,
up,
and,
right?
and also too, like if you think about like anatomy, our thymus gland is part of our immune system. It's in our sternum.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime we do any kind of chest expansion, shoulder opener, neck, that's going to help promote healing. And you think about your neck and all the strain that's there. It's like anytime we could open this up, it's just going to help you be a happier person. It's going to make you breathe better. And it's also going to improve your immune system too. So it's like you can't go wrong.
Right.
So yeah.
Great. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, it was, your session was super fun. You had great music as well. And so I think it was a great part of our experience that day altogether because I think our team walked away, Dr. Deming walked away with thinking that that was a pretty special, magical thing that happened with all of us together.
You created something extraordinary.
Yeah, and it was just creating that community, and it was clear that it's needed, right? And so I just think it's a really great space for us to be in, and we're already planning next year and thinking about, what topics are important we
Yeah.
just continue to build on that. And
And I do want to give you like even more kudos because like community, when you create community, that is such a healing in itself.
it is.
Like
It is.
being sick or being injured or being an othered, you feel separate or you feel secluded, and you welcome people in, you welcome people together, you give support. And with that, it's like there's hope, right?
Right.
And so
Yes.
like that's huge.
Always hope.
So it's what you guys have done and what you guys are creating, it's beautiful. Thank you.
Well, thank you. It is a very, very special space to be in, and we are, thankful to walk this journey with so many people. Let's see, I was just curious. Let's see. What if someone came to you and said,
Mm-hmm.
"Okay, I'm really struggling with my mobility. I'm
Yeah.
worried about falling.
Yeah.
I'm just don't have the strength to hardly walk across the room."
Mm-hmm.
What are some of those simple things that you might do to help somebody gain that strength back, gain that balance back?
Yeah. Depending on where they are, I honestly would like always start with the breath. Again, a different teacher said, your breath is your best guru. It's going to let you know where you are and what to do. So if you're doing any kind of movement or stretching and you're holding your breath, you've gone too far.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm terrible at
Yeah,
breath.
yeah, everybody is.
I'm holding my breath now. Yeah. I'm like already
Yeah.
failing
Yeah.
at breath.
No, but it's like, but we forget about that.
Yeah,
and like,
you do.
And we all, I would say, like the majority of us are all shallow breathers, right?
Right.
Like we don't go to the depths, and so like I think about like when you hit the gas, right? You want to hit like pedal to the metal, and so when you exhale, we exhale.
Right.
But if you want exhale.
Oh my gosh. I would start
You
coughing.
keep going, right? But it's practice, right?
Right.
So with that, and you think of if you're not exhaling, then you can't bring fresh oxygen in. So you're trapping this, like you can think of chi or prana or just oxygen, right? Carbon dioxide gets trapped in our body. And so just by that embodies people into their body. And then depending on how they're feeling, I love to work with toes and feet on the floor and making sure that we're wiggling, you're pressing down on your toes. Because a lot of times when we're standing in mobility issues or balance issues, we're not really using our toes. We're just standing using the balls of our feet and our heels. So using those toes to stand, like if we're doing a push-up or a plank, right? We don't want to just sink into the heels and hands. We want to press, right? And it's going back to being a child, right? Like we're used to like first we breathe, then we're trying to grab onto things and we're trying to pull ourselves up. And that's like the first thing that we lose is that grabbing and the holding of our toes and our fingers. So if we just go back to basics, I think that helps us. Because if we think about our fingers and our toes, that helps us stand, also helps to pull us up, and like we need that. And so I think that would be the first kind of thing. And then after that, have your breath, move forward and back like a cat-cow.
Cat-cow.
Do a little circle with your breath, and just like if you're taking movement seriously, you're not going to want to do it. And I say be a big of a dork and ridiculous as much as possible, and then you have fun with it. Like I laugh at myself all the time. When I was dancing, I'd mess up in class and I would just laugh. I'm like, like it's all good. And so I think if we take life too seriously,
Right.
It's just not a healthy place to live.
But I'm sure other dancers did take that very
Oh, yeah.
seriously.
Yeah.
Seems like it would be really like
Yeah. I did when I was first starting to dance. And then I was really blessed with I danced for over 20 years professionally. And like my last 8 years, 10 years, I found the joy. My first 10 years, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to do everything right. And then because of that, you just grip, you can't enjoy it. You're tense all the time. And then there's just a point where you're just like, it was kind of after my car accident.
That
then
you-
then I was just like, this is a gift. Don't squander it. Like, be in the moment, enjoy it. If you're not enjoying it, find something else, So,
Yeah.
yeah. But
What was your favorite role? Dance, ballet, or opera, or what performance
yeah.
that you ever did?
Holy cow.
And was it before the accident or after the accident?
It was definitely after the
After,
accident. Yeah.
yeah.
That's a great, I don't know. I also went to musical theater as well. And so there are some things that sometimes it was like the music, sometimes it was the movement, sometimes it was character. And then when you're a performer, you're given this information either by the choreographer or by the director. And sometimes that is the best thing because it gives you information about how to portray or to give. And I just choreographed a production of Fiddler on the Roof for Revival Theater in Cedar Rapids in June. And I had performed it multiple times. Maybe that was, One place I performed it was in St. Louis at the Muni, and it's this giant outdoor theater, and the stage is, I think, 50 or 75 feet wide. And there are tons of seats. It's like a stadium, and then there's a hill. So it seats about 12,000 people.
Oh.
And so you're out there, and you're like, oh my gosh. And I was doing the bottle dance. I had a bottle dance solo, and they're real. And I only dropped it once, so I was really, but the thing
job.
is like, live theater, live dance, things happen, just like life, and what do you do with it?
Right,
You have to keep
right.
going, you pivot, you just like improv, like life is all about improving, and so, but Fiddler, I love that story though, because it's talking about displacement, it's talking about othering, it's talking about family, it's talking about love, it's talking about tradition, it's talking about the pool of change, right? We all struggle with change, which is crazy because change is inevitable.
I know.
And
It's one of
so-
our hardest things to deal with.
Yeah, and it's like without change, there's no growth. Without growth, you die.
Right,
So,
right.
but yeah. Anyways, I got on a tangent
Well,
there.
now,
Yeah.
okay, so what was your least favorite? And to me, it's probably because of the music or something, like,
There was one opera. Yeah, okay. There was one opera, I'm Afraid of Heights.
oh,
So it was at the Chicago Opera House, and the theater seats 4,000.
Yeah,
So
yes.
it's about double the size of our Civic Center.
yeah, it's beautiful space.
And so it was this kind of contemporary opera, and it was a very abstract. Anyways, in the beginning, there are 3 swans that are flying. I somehow was a swan, and I'm in this white full body unitard with this giant one-armed wing that was 15 feet wide, and the other arm was just my arm. I'm in a harness, I'm lifted up, and have to be lifted up before the performance starts so they don't see. And I just and then the stage is like a severe rake. So a rake stage means further away from the audience, the stage is really high, and the closer the stage is to the audience, it's like a slant. So it gives the audience a great perspective, but as a performer, it's really challenging. So when I get raised up, I look down, and it's basically where the end of the rake is, and this big drop off. So I would go into this kind of like emotional crisis every performance.
Oh, no.
But then I kept going on. This is how I was like, okay, this is a major opera company in the United States.
It is.
There's a phenomenal union, and there's also great newspapers here. So if I fall and plummet to my death, then I'll be written about. I'll be in a newspaper.
You will.
And my family will get money for my death. So that's how I handled it. I was just like, my family is set,
Okay.
and I'll be like a legend. Like, this is great. But I had to like do that or else it was all bad. But like the thing is, like, one arm was like really heavy because it was like a really long weight, and then the other arm didn't. And I'm on a counter, and you have to like cross your legs and squeeze your tush like crazy, or else you'll go forward. And one performance, I just looked slightly down, and all of a sudden I'm just like going down, and then you see just like this swan. And then you're stuck there until they bring you down, and you're just like, oh, 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 oh. So I have to say that was probably the
Oh,
worst.
that's funny. It kind of reminds me of, I remember these from my childhood. They used to be these little chicken head,
exactly.
or like a ostrich or something that used to dip its head. Yeah, that's what it kind of reminds
totally.
me of.
It was like, but ever so gingerly. I was like, oh no, oh no.
Get my core going. Get my core going.
Yes.
Oh, that's really funny.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else do I want to? I mean, I always enjoy chit-chatting
Yeah,
with you.
talk.
Tell me about just like what in Des Moines that has really gravitated that this is the place you want to be, and and how you've gotten involved in the community. I mean, I've seen you at lots of different, from the Arts Center to, community events, and how you've just kind of gotten involved.
Yeah, that's a great question. So one thing is one of the places I lived before here was Roanoke. I was teaching at a university in Roanoke, Virginia. Beautiful, great city. But I lived kind of like on a farmhouse, which was beautiful, but it was like 15, 20 minutes to get to a coffee shop. And I was like, okay. So I'm like, when I decided to move here, I was like, I want to live like downtown. I know of the city, but like not really about living here. So I was like, I want to be able to walk out and be around people and things. And so I live in the East Village, and I'm able to walk to work. I'm able to bike on the trails. And so there are all these like great things about the energy of the city. And so that's just like one thing that just kind of like great, just to be able to live downtown.
Yeah.
And Ballet Des Moines did not have a director of development before I came.
Right.
And so one of the things I was talking with Blair, who's executive director, CEO, about was she has done amazing things with that organization and with corporate and foundational giving. But, we had so few people on staff that she just couldn't really do things and meet people.
Right.
And that's where I excel, and that's where I was a director of development for a smaller dance company in Chicago, and I really worked with individual donors and kind of out and about. And I was just like, I want to do this for the organization, but I also want to do this for me. And I feel like I'm always a connector. I always want to help anyone if I can. Maybe it's just like, oh, you guys would get along really well, or you guys both have kids, or this or that. And so there's just a lot of fascinating things in Des Moines. There's incredible organizations. There's great cultural and artist organizations here, and I'm discovering more and more. And I think because it's not a New York, because it's not a Chicago, because it's not like a San Francisco or LA, like, you have time to take in things. You have opportunities to actually see people, see organizations, see things. You're not bombarded by things. It's not noisy. And being in a position that works with a nonprofit, I'm able to have conversations with other nonprofits and like, how could we join together?
Right.
How could we support each other? Like, truly, not just like tick a box, but like, how could we really be proactive for each other? And that's like just something I've really fallen in love with. And I think a lot of it has to do with the Community Foundation, also Bravo, just like better together, we really are. And in grad school, one of the things one of the projects I did was looking at dance companies, dance festivals, and looking at how they did development for their audience engagement, fundraising strategies, because nobody talks to each other. Everybody's in this
silo.
Silo. And I'm like, wow, if we just shared, we could get so much done. Like, it might not work for me, right? But this other thing that you share might, and I might have something that shares, like, and so it's just like that always confused me. I'm like, why are we working so hard? Like, if we just talk, then it's gonna be like, holy moly,
Right,
you know?
right.
And so, we have a collaboration with the Des Moines Symphony and DMPA coming up. We're going to do a Nutcracker there, and so.
Oh, you are this
year? Not this year, but the following year.
The following year.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so,
That's
it's
great.
been announced, and so.
I did see that now.
So yeah, so it's like that is something that's like beautiful. It's like the ballet, the symphony, and the Performing Arts Center like collaborating together, and again, like I think Austin does it, but rarely will you have like the city's ballet company and the city symphony work together. Like Joffrey doesn't do that. They have their own symphony.
Oh, right.
Ballet or American Ballet Theater in New York City, same thing. Like it's not like these two giant organizations, and so it's really powerful. And Maestro's been incredibly lovely, and Monica Holt, she's new and she's
Yeah.
fabulous.
I've not met her
So
yet, but-
yeah, so it's really great. The community and the openness and the curiosity here. That's what I've kind of fallen in love with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dr. Deming he believes very strongly that the arts play a really big role in our healing and as people. And, that's just if you're around him at all, if you are in a class or you go on a journey, he often reads poetry. He likes music.
Yeah.
He likes movement. He loves the Arts Center and what art can bring
Yeah.
out in people. And we're doing collabs with the Arts Center
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
it makes sense that we go to where the experts are to bring out
Yeah.
the beautiful opportunities that we have in our community. And so I think that's always been a big part for Dr. Deming, and it will continue. It's always been important to me too. I had lunch at the Arts Center today,
So great.
I know. I highly recommend
Yeah.
if you haven't been.
Yeah.
It's a great place to go to lunch.
Yeah.
But it's just when we all work together, we're all better for it.
Completely.
And being in the fundraising world for many 20 plus 5 years, something like that. When we do work together, you really greater things just happen for everyone. And
yeah.
and I do agree. I think Des Moines does a really good job. It doesn't feel quite so competitive.
No, not at all. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
There's not a scarcity mindset here, where I feel like some other places there are, or there's maybe it's not a scarcity mindset, but it's insecurity mindset. And I think everybody has insecurity.
Sure.
It's normal, but it's like how are you going to react with that, right? What are you going to do with that? Are you just going to be like, okay, I don't know, let's talk about it, and like. And yeah, we could get so much done working together.
So if somebody wanted to engage in one of your classes,
Yes.
how would they go about that?
Yeah, they can check our website. We haven't had our fall classes
Out yet, sure.
So we're kind of tweaking the schedule right now and like looking at things. But feel free to email me. I think that's the best probably right now is Todd, TODD, at balletdesmoines.org. So
Perfect.
Todd, ODD. Yeah, DODD.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And you're doing some classes for us every once
Yep,
in a while. And I know Mary, the three of us
Yep.
ran into each other at the coffee shop the
Oh,
other
that's so
day.
much fun, yeah.
And I know, Mary, we're always like,
Yeah.
oh, what else can we do?
That's great. It's like such a joy and such a pleasure, and just sharing with people, and like also getting to meet new people is just like such a just a privilege and a joy. So
Yeah, I agree. So what's been your most favorite thing in Des Moines?
that's hard. Holy cow. There have been so many great firsts here. Oh, that's hard. Was that on the question?
No,
Yeah.
it's just me thinking.
Oh, wowzers. Huh. I think it's just like, it's not one thing, but without sounding cheesy, it's been meeting you, meeting Kayla from the Art Center, meeting Ashley, meeting all these incredible people in Des Moines that I would have never met before. And there's so much passion and drive and vision. It's incredibly inspiring. I feel like, some communities or some cities, you go and you get pulled down by energy or you get pulled down by all this. But here it's just like there's this lift up and yeah, so.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a classic Dr. Deming question,
Okay.
and this will be our final question. Then what I think we'll do, see if anybody in the audience has a question. What brings you joy?
I could go like three different ways, but yeah, I think being outside, just outside by myself.
In this humidity and heat?
Yeah, I mean, even still, like I
I'm
did a
just
bike
kidding.
ride the other day, but
Did
like,
you?
yeah, I mean, it's horrible, but it's like it reminds you of just to be. And sometimes I get caught up in so many different things, and my mind just goes crazy. But like when I'm out in nature and I see just like a tree branch or something like decay, and I'm just like think about, okay, this is process, this is life, change, this is okay. From that, it's nutrients, like this whole, and it just reminds me of like just being. And I think that it doesn't really, it brings me joy, but it brings me contentment,
Yeah.
and then I think what joy of like joy is like having connections like this. I got to have coffee with someone earlier today, and it was just amazingly inspiring, and it was just like made my heart sing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, do we have questions from the audience today? Are we out of time? We are out of time.
Oh, rats! Dagnammit.
So I hope everyone has enjoyed our conversation today and that you will think about ballet and movement in a different way now. And I really encourage folks to come check out either the event in August.
Yeah, August
Or
30th.
the first, the Ghost Stories. You can see me cry. I usually go Friday nights. But I really encourage people to think about engaging in this type of movement in a different way. And we
Yeah.
appreciate Todd and Ballet Des Moines so much for partnering with us and being on this journey with
Yeah.
all our participants and all our friends that are with us day in and day out. So I appreciate it. We thank everyone for tuning in. And I promise next week, Dr. Deming will be back to see you. So have a good evening.
Thank you so much. Bye.